Clerks 2.
Clerks 2.
Well, I think it has to be Clerks because I can't say Clerks 2. The two characters who, when Kevin Smith started out, independent filmmaker, and he started out making this movie in a convenience store with these two characters who just talked nonsense, talked about Star Wars, talked rubbish basically, and it was hilariously funny, and what they said was very rude and very pithy and very witty and very funny. And I remember I reviewed Clerks for Q magazine. I said it was the rudest film I'd ever seen, and yet there is not a single frame of nudity in it. It's just people talking in a disgusting way. Kevin Smith then went on to do some interesting films. He made Dogma, which you very much like, right?
Oh, that was terrific, yes.
Yeah. His career fell apart, and he ended up making that absolute Bennifer abomination, Jersey Girl. Remember that?
No.
With Ben Affleck.
I think you warned me. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, Ben Affleck's in it, but Ben Affleck's in a couple of his things. But Ben Affleck's in it. At the very beginning, Ben Affleck is married to Jennifer Lopez, but she makes a very, very good decision, and she drops dead in the first 10 minutes. And he is then left on his own, having a middle-age crisis.
No, I didn't.
And it was very much the product of Kevin Smith. This nerdy bloke has grown up. Now, it's a terrible film. I think even Kevin Smith thinks it's a terrible film now. So he decided to go back to where he came from, make Clerks 2. The same two characters, at the beginning of the movie, they burn down the convenience store. So they then have to go and get a job in a burger place. So they're now in a burger place, and they're now in colour rather than in black and white. They've grown up. They've got fatter. They've got, when Kevin Smith was on the thing, no, but when Kevin Smith was on the program, remember he said it's a movie in which the spare tire is one of the leading characters. You see everybody, you see them, you see Randall and Dante, and you see Jay and Silent Bob. They're a bit bigger and a bit chubbier and a bit older and a bit greyer, and actually that's the melancholic side of it. On the other hand, they're still talking the same old trash. Dante is now engaged. Remember in the first film he was basically attempted to get back with his girlfriend, and his best friend didn't want him to do it. In this one he's going to get married, but his best friend doesn't want him to do it. So it's the same thing, only with 12 years different. Now, on the one hand, there is a melancholic charm to this, because I like those characters, or at least I did like them. I liked them 12 years ago. Now that they're grown up and older, and they should be wiser, and in fact they're not, they're just the same stupid blokes, they're just a little bit fatter, and they're still talking about the same stuff. Some of the gag has definitely worn off, and I have to say the jokes are very, very thin on the ground. And if you watched it just on its own terms, is this a funny comedy with a bunch of people doing funny stuff? The answer is no, it isn't. I think what I gave it the benefit of the doubt occasionally, because I sort of felt like, well, it's nice to see Kevin Smith at least getting back onto ground in which he's not completely lost. And I did like these characters once, and I do have fond memories of literally nearly wetting myself laughing the first time I saw Clerks. Me and Bob McCabe sat in the Odeon Leicester Square and screamed like hyenas to the point that I thought they were going to throw us out because we couldn't contain ourselves.
I'd have had you thrown out.
Yes, I know, but you wouldn't have gone to see the movie. But it's nothing like on that same level. There just aren't enough laughs. It's not smart enough. Some of the script is fairly naff. However,
slightly naff, says the man whose socks say "Mine's a pint."
Yeah, I've just got off a plane.
Well,
these were given to me by.
You chose to put them on.
No, I didn't choose. I grabbed as I left.
You had someone put
them on. As I left the house. No, as I left the house to go to the plane, it was dark. This was the pair of socks I grabbed. It wasn't until I was on the plane that I realised that I was wearing a pair of socks that said "Mine's a pint."
Just tricky.
Thank you very much.
Just